My F25 boyfriend, M25, is accusing me of cheating on him, but I didn't. Sunday morning, my boyfriend left for work and I started prepping cookie dough for Christmas and getting through our laundry. Little did I know, my boyfriend had set up an extra phone he had in our living room while he was gone, set to record any noises. Which, whatever, I couldn't care less about it even if I had known it was there. So fast forward to last night, my boyfriend wakes me up out of my sleep to accuse me of cheating and saying I've been caught. I woke up very confused and almost thought I was even dreaming. I asked him again what exactly he was accusing me of, and he said, "I caught you cheating on me with this audio." Mind you, all the audio plays is literally noises of me loading a washer and then proceeding to mix a bowl of cookie dough, cough, wash my hands, and changing the laundry from washer to dryer. He states he can hear heavy breathing, and someone snap a condom off. Internally I'm like, excuse me. So I sit there and tell him that's definitely not what happened, and I was actually just making cookie dough, and as a matter of fact, my sister came over in the middle of me making the cookie dough. So, I call my sister. I put her on the phone and I'm like, I've been awoken out of my sleep and currently being accused of cheating. Did you see anyone in or near our house at all when you stopped by while I was making cookie dough? And she proceeds to tell him the exact same things I tell him. You can even hear her arrive and come in on the audio he took. He proceeds to say, "Wow. Can't believe she's lying to you too. Sucks to see you lie to your sister," and at this point I'm even more confused. I proceed to cry and tell him until I'm blue in the face that literally all I did all day was laundry and make cookie dough until my sister came over. He kept telling me that it wasn't the truth, and that he supposedly had caught me red-handed. I told him this was all so out of the blue to be accused of, and that now I was starting to suspecting something on his end, to which he lets me go through his phone. I open up his messaging thread with his best friend and see a text to his friend that says, "I think I caught her cheating. I now have complete control over this bitch." And then his friend immediately tell him about a girl who's been into him apparently. I'm sorry, this is so jumbled. I'm just on the floor crying and don't know what to do. I've never cheated in my life and never would. I feel so gaslit. I feel defeated against something I didn't even do. I feel made a fool of. I feel so mentally drained and betrayed in a way. I don't even know where to go from here. Also wanted to add that he went through my phone too and found nothing. I think you need to run. I'm not suggesting or believing that you did, but giving his reaction to thinking you did is fucked up on its own. This is so fucked up. Please leave and never look back. He's a maniac and probably projecting his own cheating. Please stick to your family and friends and get out of there. Your boyfriend is mentally unwell, as in he's unhinged and psychotic, and you can't help him, and dangerous. You need to leave him. There's no reasoning with crazy, abusive men who want to control you and go to any lengths to destroy you in the process. It's not about whether or not you actually cheated. He knows you didn't. It's about him wanting leverage against you so he can control you. He admitted as much in that message to his friend. If he knows you cheated, then he can implement all sorts of rules to invade your privacy and curtail your freedoms in the name of rebuilding trust, and then once he has you nice and compliant and cut off from your social network, he can finally start hitting you. This is a case of heavy paranoia or hardcore projection. He's actively spying on you. Do you really want to test out to what else he's capable of? Firstly, this man is a fool. He heard what he wanted to and refuses to believe the truth despite the evidence. Secondly, he is nasty and mean-spirited. Why does he feel like he can call you a bitch? And why does he want to control you anyway? Thirdly, he has just given himself away. I would change the locks and kick him out. Or just leave, block him and never look back. What a loser. Move on and live your life. Listen to "I Can Buy Myself Flowers" by Miley Cyrus a few times. Stop crying and start celebrating that this dickhead was idiot enough to show you his true colors. My F24 Boyfriend M28 cheated on me while we are traveling. Where do I go from here? My boyfriend and I are currently traveling in Southeast Asia. We've been planning on this trip for months and planned on traveling for 2-3 months. He went to get a massage the other day and the woman gave him a condom. He put it on and they had sex for a few seconds before he stopped and left. He told me the next day. We've been together almost 2 years now and I love him deeply. He feels terrible and ashamed about it, and I am obviously feeling betrayed in a whirlwind of emotions. I've never cheated or been cheated on before. I don't know what to do. I think it's easier to stay with him because I love him, and if I'm being honest, I don't want to leave him. I'm feeling pretty conflicted right now and more alone than I've ever felt. Especially being in a foreign country. He wants to work things out. He says he will do whatever it takes, including counseling. Having friends that have been cheated on, I've always advised them to leave. I know leaving is a lot harder than forgiving him, but staying maybe be a huge disrespect to myself. I keep telling myself that at least he was honest. At least he didn't go through with it fully and stopped. But I know those are just the barest minimum of what he should do after crossing a major boundary. I don't really know where I'm going with this post. I think I'm just feeling very alone right now with pretty much no one to talk to. I guess that's why I'm reaching out to the internet void. If anyone has any advice or experiences they'd like to share, I would very much appreciate it. You know full well he's lying. I spend 4 months a year in Thailand. That's not how the massage parlors work. They don't just give you a condom and get to it. They'll ask you what you want with your massage: hand job, blow job, body to body, boom boom, or just a massage. Your boyfriend asked for it and is lying to you to alleviate his guilt. It's a common thing for people who cheated to not tell the whole truth. If I be you, I would tell him that if he wants to work on this, he has to be 100% honest. I'm not buying the seconds thing. Sounds like damage control. Also, he put the condom on himself? Just think about it. He had enough time to stop it, but he still put it on himself. I don't think this trust can be rebuilt. You're still so young. I wouldn't recommend you to work through something that someone deliberately did knowing it would cause you trust issues and hurt. Take it from someone who got cheated on as well and now is married to their love of their life. There is someone out there who really will not throw your trust away, so think carefully for your future self, too. He says he will do whatever it takes, including counseling. As a therapist myself, please, stop. We can't fix the bad nature of your so. We can't make them be better person. We are not a tool for manipulation. We can't change the past and we can't change the future. He's gonna do it again. Please, just break up with him before you get some STD. That woman's body and vagina was literally more important to him than you. Also, you believe he got hard enough for sex. Put on a condom, then had a few seconds of sex. Girl, if you don't leave. At least he didn't go through with it fully and stopped. I don't know about your definitions of intercourse, but if I am putting on a condom and end up inside another person, I've gone through with it fully. Does it lasting for seconds make a difference for you? Is cheating for seconds not the same as cheating for minutes, hours? Also, would you decide to stay with him if you were not in a foreign country? I don't think it's worth it to stay in a relationship once you lose faith in a partner. Trust is the foundation of a relationship, and once it's broken, the relationship is done. There is no excuse for his infidelity. Really, new girlfriend, 27 female, invited me, 29 male, to go to Christmas. What are your thoughts? So I, 29 male, am an oops baby, something that my family has constantly reminded me of since I was little, because it's funny. My brother, 44, sister, 42, sister, 39, were all planned by our parents. I was the result of a drunken fun night on New Year's Eve, according to my dad. I've never been close to my siblings due to the large age gap. My parents, while never mean, but never went out of their way to show me the same love that my siblings get. At least that is how it's always felt. For instance, when I was younger I was in choir. I used to love to sing, but no one in the family ever came to see me sing. I was told, we are busy, or, we have other plans, so I gave up singing. But I remember them going to my other siblings' dance things. So I gave up on doing anything other than working on my computer and playing with my friends. I stuck to just getting good with computers, and in doing so, ended up in a good job where I've been working for almost 10 years now. Started at the bottom of IT and now have worked my way up to being a manager for about 15 people. However, being in IT means I have to occasionally miss out on family events as well as some holidays, because where I work it's 24/7 split into 12-hour shifts. Due to this, over the years, I've been accidentally forgotten to be invited because we figured you were working, without actually asking me. This has been a recurring issue with my family, forgetting to ask me to join them or making excuses as to why I wasn't invited. However, one thing I could always rely on was being able to show up on Christmas Eve. That's when we celebrate Christmas, and still feel like I belonged, even if it was later in the evening. Most of the love I felt came from my nieces, who always think of me as the cool uncle and are always happy to see me. Happened to stop over at my folks yesterday, and while there I saw my nieces. Folks tend to watch them on the weekends, that's a whole different story. But my nieces started asking if I was excited for Christmas as we get to hang out in a cabin this year. I looked confused and asked my mom what they were talking about, and she looked obviously embarrassed and said everyone made plans back in June to celebrate in a rental cabin in Vermont for Christmas. Lol, I kid you not, she looked at me and said, we all figured you had to work again and couldn't get the time off. So everyone figured you wouldn't mind missing one Christmas. Had they said something, I could have taken the time off. To say I was and am heartbroken is an understatement. Like I get I'm an oops baby and not really ever thought of much, if ever, but to just be left alone for the Christmas on purpose, I mean, how does a family do that to someone? I just turned around, hugged my nieces goodbye and left, didn't even say goodbye to my mom. I pride myself on being a strong individual, especially on how my family has always treated me. But not gonna lie, I actually cried on the way home. Never in my life have I felt so rejected, especially by people who are supposed to love me. I couldn't even ask her when they planned on telling me or if they planned on telling me. What would happen if I showed up after work and no one was there? I just left. I probably should have, but I was hurting too much to really care at the moment. Now here's my dilemma. I have a new girlfriend, Zoe 27 female, and by new, I mean we've only been going out and seeing each other since just after Thanksgiving. I sent her a text when I got home telling her what happened as I had to talk to someone. She kinda knows about my family. Being in such a new relationship, I didn't want to unload all my baggage on her. But she does know that me and my family don't have a standard type relationship. Anyway, she has invited me to go with her to celebrate Christmas with her family. I haven't given her an answer yet. In previous relationships, we were together months before the invite to Christmas ever came up. However, this is the first relationship where it's only been a few weeks. So asking people of Reddit for their advice. Would going with Zoe to her family's be a good idea? Being that this is so new, is there a potential downside? Would it be better to be gracious and thank her for the invite but decline? Or accept the invite and go? BTW, I do have to work Christmas Eve again this year, but not Christmas Day, so that's a plus, I guess. Lol, I've rambled enough. Sorry this thing got a little too long. Too long did not read. My family purposely failed to invite me to join them for Christmas in Vermont, and I just found out. New girlfriend invited me to join her family, but not sure if I should go as it's only been a few weeks we've been together. To go or not to go is the question. I would go and just try to enjoy yourself. Beats sitting at home. Your family is full of terrible people, and your parents should be incredibly ashamed of themselves. What does the invitation from your girlfriend entail? Is this a multi-day stay with her family? Is it coming with her for half a day to her parents' house? What are we talking? Go. If you meet Zoe's hunky ex-lawyer, lumberjack at her parents' house, then congratulations, you're in a Hallmark movie. I once brought a casual date to Christmas Bekwase. He didn't have anywhere else to go. I made sure that my family knew he was new. It wasn't super serious, I just didn't want him to be alone. It was amazing, we had a blast, and even though the relationship didn't last much longer than 6 months, he repeatedly thanked me for including him at the holiday because he really enjoyed being part of a big family gathering for once. If I were you, I would go. There's no pressure, you're pretty new and just tagging along. Bring a nice hostess gift and enjoy yourself. It's better than being alone. First of all, I wonder if you were an affair baby, not an oops baby. You should have been babied your whole life. Might consider writing mom and a letter spelling out all the times they were awful to you and their assumptions in work are bullshit. Then I would go NC for a while. In the meantime, go to Christmas with your GF. Stop thinking there is a rulebook in life and relationships. Go and see how a real family treats its members. You're a stray and folks love to take strays in on holidays. So show up with bottles of lovely spirits and wine for the hosts and a nice book for your new girlfriend. Watch the game, help in the kitchen and meet the family. I got adopted by a friend and her family nearly 30 years ago. It's been great. My 34M wife, 36F, becomes very aggressive when she gets drunk. How do I handle the situation? My wife and I have been married for 4 years. One of our constant issues is that my wife's initial emotional response to problems is anger. I usually have patience to deal with it, but there are times that it has escalated, especially when alcohol is involved. One time, we got in an argument and ended up going out. The entire night she kept coming after me saying she doesn't need me and that she can find someone else. I knew she was drunk at this point. I usually just try to deflect and tell her that we can talk about it tomorrow, but she kept talking and kept pushing my buttons. By the time we got home, she pushed me and we got into a physical fight. My wife does not like it when I attend company events, as there are female coworkers and alcohol. She believes that I will end up cheating on her. I have not cheated on her. We both agree that she does have anger issues, but they become worse when our relationship is not in a good spot. The most recent argument, we went out and she was pretty drunk. We met one of the local bartenders who we know since we go there for their food and after playing social sports. It was cool to catch up with him and all, but she was close talking and I was pulling her away and eventually she wrapped her arm around his shoulder. I'm not that jealous, but I did tell her that I think we should move to another side. Eventually, she started saying I have a lot of female friends and that she's allowed to have male friends too. And it felt to me that she was getting back at me for something. When we all get home, including our friends, tensions were still high. There was music playing and I was trying to dance with her, but she kept saying that she didn't want to. I probably should have stopped, but then she stood up and attacked me, punching me in the face and ripping my chain. I pushed her away, but she fell and hurt herself. She proceeded to call 911, but her friends hung up the call. The police ended up coming, but her friends said it was a misunderstanding and he left. After this incident, my mind has been all over. What if it was only us two? At that point, she was willing to see me go to jail. That's what has me worried the most. We also have a toddler at home, who thankfully was sleeping at the time. Edit. My wife agrees that she has issues. We have done couples therapy a few times in our relationship. More in the beginning of it. When we get in this space, she does seek her therapist to talk to. I don't want to paint her as a bad person because she is understanding and she knows what we have to do. Edit 2. We just spoke about the most recent argument where the cops were called. She said she is truly sorry and she understands if I can't be in the relationship anymore. You need to get out of this relationship. Your wife is abusive. You and your child deserve better. Your wife abuses alcohol and is abusive. Don't you think it would be smart to explore your options to get away from that? It's not a new issue and you make no mention of therapy, individual or couples, nor her admitting that it's a problem and trying to modify her behavior. So it kind of seems like this is how it's gonna be. Sure doesn't sound like a healthy environment for you and definitely not for a child. This is not an environment to raise a toddler. You two drink to the point of having physical altercations. That is how you get your child taken away. It's either couples therapy and AA or divorcing. Anything in between is meaningless. None of this should be tolerated. She has a drinking problem. Physically abusive, emotionally abusive, trust issues, intentionally doing things to make you jealous. Should have packed your shit and left ages ago. I would issue an ultimatum. Either we stop the liquor and focus on becoming good parents, or we end then marriage. Man, what are you doing with your life? This woman is a ticking time bomb. Believe when I say with 34 you're in your prime. Get rid of this woman now. She will ruin your life. The big A's: adultery, abuse, and addiction. This story has a taste of all three. This is a serious problem and I hope you manage to work it out. You're married to an alcoholic with anger issues. She needs awe and therapy. You need to exit the relationship with your child. Start documenting everything. What she did, when she did it, and who witnessed it.